Predictions have it that around 62% of Africans won't have access to mobile internet by 2020. East and Southern Africa relies on satellites and has just 0.07% of the world's international bandwidth capacity. Africa only uses 9.3% of the world's internet. These are just some of the issues that are being tackled at the largest and most influential Africa-focused tech event in the world, the AfricaCom conference. The mother city's Cape Town International Convention Center hosted this year's AfricaCom conference, which featured some of the biggest African telecom service providers and vendors. The first day of the conference tackled issues of connectivity and creating equal access to information for everybody in Africa. On this day, we showcase and discuss new and emerging technologies in the African continent, as well as looking at ways of making Africa a digitally vibrant continent. One of the major players in the tech space in the African continent has always been Ericsson. Today we kick off the second day of the AfricaCom conference with an interview with the president of the Sub-Saharan African region. Jean-Claude Geha is the man who was recently placed as Ericsson's head of the Sub-Saharan Africa region.
This is my first AfricaCom. It's really exciting to be here. We're here with our customers and our partners. And our contribution in this event is really to show Ericsson's tradition in innovation, in driving technology to support the needs of our customers and the needs of the continent. We're very much involved in the digital transformation of Africa, and we're here to demonstrate how we can help and how we've been helping in this evolution of Africa towards a digital platform.
What are some of the innovative means that you're showcasing here today?
We're showcasing actually several. To mention a couple is our radio tower top, and this is a new way of us providing an integrated solution for our baseband and radio and antenna that makes it more practical, more affordable and easier to install and maintain for our customers.
Now, as you would know, Africa is the least connected continent in the world, and this AfricaCom is planning to digitalize. It's one of the focuses that it's tackling. What are Ericsson's plans to digitalize Africa?
We're part of an ecosystem that has multiple stakeholders, and we're addressing all the stakeholders in this ecosystem. We're working with device partners to produce more affordable smartphones in the sub-$50 range. We made an announcement with MediaTek yesterday about this, and they're here with us on the floor showing what we're doing together. We're addressing the operators, our customers directly. We're helping them build and expand their mobile broadband networks, because at the end of the day, mobile broadband is the essential foundation for any digital transformation on the continent. We're also working with third-party platform and apps providers for them to make it easier for them to integrate platforms and services on top of our network and core components in order to help our customers to package more value add services towards their end users. And last but not least, we work with the regulators. We bring in learnings from other regions in order to give the regulators more options when they're ready to make decisions on how and when and where to release spectrum, which is essential to drive this broadband infrastructure deployment and then enable the digital transformation of Africa.
In the future, what can we expect from Ericsson for the African continent?
We just released our mobility report, and all of the underlying trends driving mobility and growth in our sector are looking very good. The future is looking very optimistic. The trends on youth, on data usage, urbanization, uptake of smartphones are looking very good. So we must act to really leverage all these positive trends to make digital Africa happen. We have a global vision, our network society, that we apply everywhere in the world, and we want to apply it here. We want to ensure that every individual, every industry in Africa is empowered via our technologies and our products and services that we bring to the table to maximize their potential.
Day 2 of the AfricaCom conference saw various tech companies showcase new technologies that specifically cater for the needs of Africans. Some of these initiatives focused on transforming the operational costs of rural networks.
Yeah, in AfricaCom this year we are showing different products. The most important is related to internet. In April we're going to launch a product called Connect Africa, which is a high-speed internet for residential market and for small enterprise market. It will be based on a high-throughput satellite soon, and in an interim phase we're starting with a coverage of about 10 countries in Africa, and it's something really unique. We are the only company to provide this kind of service in Africa now.
No, I'm actually interested in more. I'm interested in it. Can you tell us a bit more about the service?
Yeah, basically what we will do is we will provide a service where you get access to several megabits of downstream capacity to connect to the internet, which is pretty good. You know, it's ADSL quality. In the future, it will be fiber-like quality, and we will have a series of satellites. We will have one where we cooperate with Yasat, coming in April and reinforced in the summer. Then in 2019 we would have a very big satellite of our own, and probably in 2020-22 another generation. So it's like a family of bigger and bigger satellites with better and better performance, cheaper and cheaper price, and very good affordability for the African marketplace.
I was about to go to affordability, so it is going to be affordable for the ordinary person on the poorest of the villages in Africa, for example.
Well, in the case, of very remote places, and for residential, what we believe is we would have shared solutions. Like, for instance, we would backhaul the signal, the internet connectivity to a village, and in the village they would use something like a hotspot, a Wi-Fi hotspot, to make it possible for everybody to use internet on a smartphone or on an existing device, not to have to buy a specific device. If you need to buy a specific device, it's a little bit more expensive, so it's more for the affluent, let's say, population or the SO, and it's also, of course, a possibility for everybody progressively to get cheaper and cheaper terminals. But right now, the solution is more dedicated to SOs, and also a triple play. For instance, if you have DTH television, like we serve, for instance, MultiChoice or different DTH platforms, you can have triple play solutions, internet and the DTH for bundle price.
So the X10 has a hybrid power system. Many mobile operators have to operate their networks in regions of the continent where there is no electricity or the electricity grid is poor and intermittent. In those situations, their only alternative is to use diesel generators, and they will burn hundreds and thousands of litres of diesel during the course of a year. Using a hybrid power system, you can harvest power from different sources: the sun, the generator, some grid if there is some grid, and store that energy in batteries so that you can run the base station off the batteries and save on the diesel. Now, these systems have been around for some years. They've been around 4 or 5 years, but in truth, hybrid systems have gained a kind of a mixed reputation around the industry because they just haven't been tough enough, just not reliable enough to cope with the environment. Typically, you'll see a cabinet with a number of indoor components inside the cabinet such that it's decreed to be an outdoor product. But of course, the minute you open the doors, you get dust and salt. People tamper with it, they put in rogue spare parts, all kinds of things can go wrong. So the product that looked great in the boardroom and it looked great on PowerPoint and was even great for the first 6 months isn't there 2-3 years on. So what we did, we went back to the beginning and we said, how do we create an African fit-for-purpose product? And here it is. The X10 is completely sealed. It is tamper-proof. There are no moving parts in it. There is no cooling system in it, or no mechanical cooling system. It's all convection cooled. So you don't need any fans, there are no filters. It all cools itself. Self-cooled, self-maintained is what we say. We're bringing with it a new patented system, which is called soft power switching. So again, in the old products, there's a lot of switching between power sources. You have to switch between generator grid, back to generator, back to solar, and the switch wears out after a while, so it breaks down. What we've done is we've built that switching capability into semiconductors, all software controlled, so now we have a truly highly resilient product. I say it, it won't break down, it saves money, it pushes networks out to remote areas.
We've transformed the operational costs of rural networks by a combination of technology and business model innovation in 3 ways. Number one, we have to get rid of diesel. It costs too much, it's a big security risk at the site, and it's bad for the environment. So a typical site takes 2 to 4 kilowatts of power. It's too big and to run practically on solar and battery. So what we took as our approach is let's take the site power down. Let's reinvent all the equipment at the site with an optimizing for low power. Our entire site consumes 90 watts of power. It's like a bright light bulb. At 90 watts, you can run off a 120 watt solar panel, and it doesn't take a lot of battery to get 24 hours life without any sun. So we've eliminated the biggest cost. Number 2 is a business model innovation. Typically, each carrier builds their own network in rural and everywhere. If they do it in rural, and each network has a subset of that rural population to try to build to get its ROI on, nobody makes money. So we created a wholesale business model. We build and run a wholesaler network, but we have no subscribers. Instead, we strike agreements with any or all of the carriers in the country. So when their subscribers come to this area, they seamlessly connect to our network, and the carrier pays us a few pennies per minute or megabyte they use. That way they get connectivity, and we have multiple subscriber bases amortizing the cost of one network.
Tech companies from around the globe are at the forefront of digitizing the African continent. Experts, young and old, are taking charge in forming a prosperous future for Africa. Take the 3 young tech entrepreneurs who also form part of the AfricaCom conference. These entrepreneurs from France are forging business ties in the African continent.
So La French Tech is a French initiative to promote entrepreneurship in France for French entrepreneurs and also foreign entrepreneurs.
What can you tell us about La French Tech? How has it helped you out so far?
French Tech helps because it can permit us to have network everywhere and help people to locate in France.
What do you guys do specifically? Can you tell us about your business, Mehdi?
Thank you. Actually, sorry, I was taking the mic. Yes, l'Africa Mobile is a Senegalese and a French VAS company which propose civic applications to the major and institution in West Africa. Actually, we building a bridge between the African institutions and the diaspora to try to create interactivity during these two entities. Actually, this is our business.
Give us your brief introduction of your business.
Yeah, my company is Bifaso. Bifaso is a matchmaking platform for transport and logistics stakeholders operating in Africa or looking to operate in Africa, because it's very hard to have information about freight market in this continent.
Let's go into your business.
Yeah, so we are Teeter, and Teeter is a smart point of sale system for merchants and restaurant owners. We are offering them with an iPad-based actually point of sale to help them take orders, accept payments. And the beauty of the product is that it's connected in real time to an analysis platform so that they can better manage their business and make smarter decisions.
One thing that I've noticed about all your businesses is that their focus is on the African continent. What made you decide to be part of the African continent and economy?
Yeah, for me, Africa is very important because if you go in France or in USA and you're looking for information, you just have to Google it. But in Africa, companies are not online. This is why we want to bring them online to give them visibility and give them opportunities.
You know that Africa is very interesting right now in the digital stuff. For example, when you're taking only mobile stuff, in our activities, we know that in West Africa, people have more than 100% of penetration rates of mobile. As all our services are on mobile, so it's a very interesting part of the world where we're sure that to have the good traction of everything we propose on this continent.
It would be quite interesting to hear from young entrepreneurs from France what they think about the tech space in Africa. Can you give us that perspective, Jennifer?
Yeah, so I think it's really booming. I can see a lot of entrepreneurs African entrepreneurs actually building great companies, but also foreigners coming to Africa because there is a lot of opportunities and problems to solve. And so myself with Tiller, actually, we are trying to build great partnership with mobile startups, also delivery platforms, etc. in Africa to target this market, and as there are major players here.
What is Africa lacking in your opinion, and what could be done to resolve those issues that we're lacking in technology, in the tech space?
I think that we need more incubators and more technology universities, because it's very hard to find very good developers in Africa. All the good developers work for big companies. When you are a startup, it's very hard to hire.
To the young entrepreneurs who want to be like you guys, who want to get involved in the tech space, what advice can you give them?
Advice is just go. If you have a good idea and if you believe to that idea, don't hesitate, just go try, and you will see if you have a how to say it, valuable business, you success, or you don't succeed and you try again. That's it.
I think that we should start doing something. Even if it will take time, we need to do it.
And I would say always start with the why. So why are you building a company and what problem are you trying to solve? And I think this is the right path to build a value-added company and being successful.
As tech experts showcase their initiatives, a company from Finland which helps Finnish SMEs go international had 8 companies at the conference.
I find it excellent. I'm from Finland. We are having a connectivity from Finland program. In the program, we have more than 30 Finnish companies offering services for telecom operators. This week, we have 8 companies here in AfricaCom, and we are very satisfied for the result until now.
Are you going to give us more on these 8 companies that you're featuring here in AfricaCom? What are they about?
They are offering services and solutions for operators. Some companies are let's say in core networks, access networks, services, applications, etc. So practically we can cover the whole value chain of the operator with the Finnish technology and Finnish know-how.
Okay, looking at the African continent, what is FinPro doing for the African continent?
We have our office here in Johannesburg. We have our embassy here in Pretoria. And we have for the program, we have recruited a local advisor, and he is advising Finnish companies how to enter the market. He's doing matchmaking with the local operators and Finnish companies. So there's a lot of activities going on here in South Africa.
And then digitalizing Africa, because the African continent is the least connected continent in the world. How does FinPro plan on going into digitalizing the continent?
Practically all of the companies they are offering digitalized services. So we see that let's say world is changing. Like the amount of data is increasing exponentially, and there's a lot of connected devices in the networks. So it means that the operators are in totally new situation right now. They have to think for the future, how to monetize the data traffic, etc. And in Finland we have good services for let's say overcome those challenges.
Okay, let's look at the future of FinPro in Africa itself. What are the plans for Africa in terms of FinPro's future?
This is the second time we are having a delegation what comes to the telecom, and we'll continue that. We will bring Finnish companies to South Africa, and say we are matching with the local needs, discussing with the operators, discussing with the potential partners, and trying to find a match between Finnish companies and African companies. Of course, Finnish technologies can help African companies to succeed in their businesses. This is our aim, to help you.
Day 2's Leaders in Africa headline keynote was delivered by women who are making moves globally in the entrepreneurial space. Basila Bokoko, one of Africa's humanitarians breaking new grounds, and Deshuna Diesel, the first black female to climb Mount Everest, sat in on a panel discussion focusing on empowering the architects of Africa.
Ladies, thank you so much. And as an African woman, I'm absolutely proud and honored to be here this evening just to listen to you two. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're talking about entrepreneurship, and some people say that it is a silver bullet, that Africa needs to take the continent to the next step. And just to set a tone for our conversation, I want to find out from you, why is entrepreneurship so important for Africa at this point? Basila, let's start off with you.
I think it's because it's important, first of all, for everywhere in the world. It's important entrepreneurship. But I think in Africa more so because as we are trying to develop ourselves, one of the economic tools that we have to do that and to be sustainable economy is to really become entrepreneurs. And I think as we face in the fourth industrial revolution in the world, and Africa really has been able to be in the third and the fourth one, I believe that our economy has to be based in entrepreneurship and innovation, not in raw material driven like it has been now. So this is the reason why I believe that it's so important right now.
All right, so basically moving from commodity-driven economies to entrepreneur-driven economies. Will you weigh in on that issue?
I think, there's no better time to be alive in Africa than right now. I think we live in a really exciting time. And one of the interesting things, I was watching Toby Shapshank's presentation yesterday, and what he really illustrated to me is that we can be so agile on this continent because a lot of the legacy infrastructure that's preventing others from innovating does not exist in Africa. So we literally have an opportunity to sort of leapfrog over a lot of the limitations that so for instance, the developed world might have in coming up with new technologies and innovations. So I think it's an exciting time. I think the more we can communicate the message to entrepreneurs that they should just try things, come up with ideas. It's not about funding, it's about ideas. And it's about testing the ideas before your funding models start emerging. And I think it's that idea of taking risks and just taking your idea and moving forward with it. People will laugh, they'll carry on about it, but if you're really serious about solutions for the areas that you're in, that's really where it's at. And I think a strong, innovative entrepreneurship culture can stem out of that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And you've talked about pushing yourself to the limit. And I'm just wondering, Basila, African women entrepreneurs have, as you said, it is a perfect time to be in Africa, but I think it is an absolutely perfect time to be a woman in Africa. Basila, but are we pushing ourselves?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. I think there is a lot of room for improvement. And I think, like Deshan said, we are a product of what we think. So until we think our mindset, it's very difficult for women to really shine the way they could because the potential is really there. So I think that still we have some constraints when it comes to be self-confident and to own it and to sell ourselves because we're not really marketing oriented. In order to achieve anything in life, to get a job, in order to just get an application in the school, they make you an interview, you have to really sell yourself and being able to articulate how good you are. And if you're not there yet, you have the potential, and that's exactly what you need to show.
Mm-hmm. Deshan, you work with entrepreneurs. Tell us a little bit about the sort of trends you're seeing in entrepreneurship and startups. And if I can push you a little further than that to say, what are men doing and what are women doing?
I try to avoid those type of conversations, but anyway, now that we are there, look, men and women are wired differently. And so what I'm noticing with entrepreneurship, for instance, is that women are drawn to fashion, cosmetics, catering, event management, things that have an inherent sort of social aspect to them. Mm-hmm. And I notice that men are, right now, the youngsters I come across, they take risks, they are more sort of in line with wanting to find ways to recycle and create waste, create better things with waste and upcycle and so on. And of course, in the tech space, I see a lot of young entrepreneurs in the tech space. I think the difference is that perhaps men are more wired to risk-taking than women. and perhaps we are more social in terms of, you know, how can we help someone else. Then I don't know, don't quote me on this one, but I do think that there is certainly a trend. But you see, here's the thing. Women don't have to be tech entrepreneurs, but if you've got a fashion business, find a way for that business to kind of incorporate something that's technology-based or innovate through technology in your business. So it shouldn't be a thing where, well, I'm a woman and tech is not really my thing, because eventually the whole world's going to use tech to foster better sustainable businesses. And so that's really what I would say to young or any female entrepreneurs on the continent.
Day 2 came to an end with these women fueling innovative ideas for Africa's digital and entrepreneurial future.
So we've come to the end of the AfricaCom conference. What we can take out of this as Africans is that even though we're not that connected as a continent, we can look forward to a prosperous digital future.
Technology has come a long way in the African continent over the last 2 decades, with AfricaCom being one of the driving forces behind it. Next year, AfricaCom will host its 20th annual conference, continuing with its passion of creating a connected African continent.